Welcome to the Daily Dohn video for January 4th, 2022. In this video, let's talk about your goals for 2022. Let's really get in depth on it. And I'm going to use my life as an example because that's all I can do is talk about my experience. I'm going to go over the categories of my goals for the year. I'm going to go over rating myself for the previous year before I make those goals. And then the three things that I should not bring into 2022 and three things that I should bring into 2022. All right, let's dive right into it. What I have been doing as an exercise for the last week or so is going through and giving myself a rating for the following categories: for family, for my physicality, for my finances, my lifestyle, my spirituality, and finally my marriage. Obviously, if you're not married, a significant other or whoever, whatever relationship is the most important to you. So I've gone through and looked at them, and I gave myself a rating from 1 to 10, one being horribly, disgustingly bad, to 10, I'm the best person ever, and made a rating. Okay. So, for example, with my family, I spent most of the year alone. I was only in Russia for 4 weeks, and I hadn't seen them because of COVID. So a lot of my communication was through phone and video calls and so forth. And I would say that for the most part, I gave myself like a 5 because I really dragged them into my emotional drama of how depressed I was and how frustrated I was about COVID and about the way things were going. And it was a very emotional year for me, and I felt like they took the brunt of that, and my son especially. And I think that um, it's hard for him too, and I think that I was so demanding of him, and I didn't realize where he was at. So I gave myself a grade. For physical, I was working on a 10 out of 10, baby, when I was losing weight, and then I gained 23 pounds back, and I stopped taking care of myself. So I guess I went down to I gave myself a 6. Finances, under the circumstances, I gave myself an 8, 8 or 9, because it was a really challenging year. Spiritual lifestyle, I gave myself a 1 because my lifestyle was terrible. I kind of just because of the COVID and trying to stay away from the disease and so forth. I really isolated, and so I kind of let myself slide a little bit. I stopped caring about how I looked, and it was not good. Lifestyle was not good, and spirituality was 1, maybe, because it just wasn't a priority for me. I've been so, my relationship with God has been very tricky all my life, and it hasn't gotten any better. And then my marriage, I'd say a 5 or 6. I mean, we both really struggled with the challenges that we had, and I think that we tended to use each other as a punching bag, and so that wasn't good. So obviously, I have a lot to work on. Okay, so what you should do, what I'm doing, you can do what you want. Like I said, is look at the rating, and where you had a lower score, decide, okay, well, what can I do to improve, and make a goal of whatever you think you can work on. And for me, I've before that, prioritize what is important to you. Now, for example, some of this stuff is not as important as the others. So I'm going to focus more on my finances. I'm going to focus on my physicality, and I'm going to focus on my relationship. And I'm going to put my family and my marriage together because it's all intertwined, right? Lifestyle will come as I work on the finances part of it. So I'm not too worried about that. Spirituality, I'm just going to hold off on that for a while as I continue to try to make sure that we thrive in this still COVID reality. Okay, so what you want to do next is, when you have your goals set, make it for a year first. Go for a year and say, okay, in a year, I want to have accomplished this or be in this place or whatever goals you're talking about. And then you have to reverse engineer them. So you think to yourself, okay, well, there's 12 months a year. So for me to reach this goal, I need to do this, and this every month. So then you're able to extrapolate how much or what you need to do per month. And you can take that down to a daily, what I need to do daily to make my goal month work. And so that way, that's one more brick in the wall to build towards the goal. One thing I want you to consider, though, is don't stop thinking about where you want to be in year 3 or year 5, because that really gets your juices flowing. That's where you can really visualize where you can be if you just take these action steps the next 3, 4, 5 years. What do I want? My dream: Europe, baby. I want to live in Europe for the most of the time. I want to have my business at the point where it's completely can run here without me being here. The structure's in place, the cash flow's in place, and I want to live over there. And I just want to explore, just explore, spend my time traveling. Have if I have my laptop with me, good internet, that's all I need. And that's what I want to do. I want to bring my family over, and they can join me as in parts of my venture or whatever. That's really what that's where I want to be in 3 years, 5 years at the latest. Okay, so um, last two things is, let's talk about the three things you should bring into 2022 and the things you shouldn't bring into 2022. So for me, I want to continue building on what I've built here, and Marta and I and our partnership have built with our business, and I want to continue to build on the weight loss and take that to the next level, and and just to do better in my relationships. So I'm going to build on that. So I'm going to bring those things in, but one thing I'm going to leave behind is I'm not a drop of soda is going to go through my lips in 2022. Not, I'm not, I'm leaving all that stuff in 2021. I will not have it this year. I will be more patient and less negative. I'm really working on my negativity. So I'm leaving my negativity behind on there. So this is a good exercise for you to do. I really encourage you to do so, because it will really help you establish what's important for you, and to be able to help you set realistic goals and goals that mean something to you. This exercise was really important for me, and I hope it will be important for you too. So thank you, and I'll see you next video.